What's up, YouTube? I'm Super Dan the Shoe Man. I'm back with another video today. It's shortly after Thanksgiving, and we're going to talk for a second about gratitudes. You already saw, oh man, I didn't get it. Y'all already saw the 100,000 steps, and this happened that my patent breads, before I matted them, had almost no creasing in them. Now that I've matted them, they have literally, a tiny bit. 100,000 steps. Some of y'all didn't really like the way that I did this though, because I had these way ahead of time. I was able to take a lot of steps in these before I made the video, which was also before they officially released. So I'm making this one a little bit later, so hopefully I can avoid some of the haters. Before we go any further though, a word from our sponsor. Again, this is the Jordan 11 Gratitude. What is another word for gratitude? How do you express gratitude to somebody?
Giving?
No. Oh. You say two words to them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
This is John 11:41 through 42, and Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and I know that you always hear me." In Ephesians, is it in Ephesians? It's not in Ephesians, it's also in John. Do you know what Jesus did before he took the loaves and the fish, just a couple of loaves and a couple of fish, loaves of bread and a couple of fish, and fed thousands of people? Do you know what he did?
Thanked God for
He
them?
thanked God for it. So thanks, just a small thank you to God just acknowledges that, and a truthful thank you to God acknowledges that what we have comes from him, and he loves that. So it's just a thank you. Now, I said this in my last video about the gratitudes, like, why don't you just give us OG and why don't you give it to us for free if you're trying to express our gratitude? At least the people that have spent lots of money at Nike. Nike knows how much money people spend. All right, so we're gonna take a look at this. I've got 2022 Cool Grays. I've got the Gratitudes. I've got the 2018, I think, Concords, and then I think these are 2015 Legends. These are all highs. I've got a couple of lows back here, but we're gonna stick with the highs. Now, I'm not comparing these so you can see what the difference is and like, oh man, this is different than OG, because these are just not OG. These are 2015 Concords. They're called Concords and they're pretty close, but they say 45 on the back. That's not OG. So none of these are really OG. Maybe these are the closest ones to actually be an OG, and maybe these are too, even though they aren't an actual OG colorway. They're from later on. So maybe these are close. But what I want to look at here is similar to the 100,000 steps, and this happened. I've only taken 15,000 steps in these, and I'm a little disappointed with the way that they've creased. All right, get up in here. This is
a little dusty.
Huh?
A little dusty.
They're a little dusty. These have actually been in a case, and they're still dusty. You can't see the dust on the white ones. These have not been on a case, and they got a little dust on them. All right, I want to look really closely at the creasing here. Tiny bit here on the inside of the toe, none on the outside, just a little bit of dust. This is the Cool Gray. So what we're going to talk about here is creasing, but also wear, because I think that's what really matters here. What we also talk about, I want to talk about, which is good. I prefer the 23 on the back. I don't like the 45 on the back, but it's a Concord, so it's all right. But these are raised. OG wouldn't be raised, but at least it says 23. Obviously it wouldn't be gold either. This is also like a little plastic piece as opposed to stitched, like the Concords, like Legends, also like all of these. The number is printed and the Jumpman is stitched. So that's a big difference between all of them. Do any of those things really matter? No. When you buy these, in my opinion, I'm buying these not because I really like the DMP, the Defining Moments Pack Jordan 11, not because I really like these, it's because I love these. That's why I bought these. They're close enough that I can have another pair of these on ice, wear a pair, have another pair on ice, and have basically my Concords to wear crispy. Now let's look at the differences, because like I said, I'm a little disappointed with the way that these have worn already. Look at the creasing already on the inside of the toes. The creasing on the inside of the toes, and this is 15,000 steps in this, which is really only wearing it for 3 or 4 days and not really getting many steps while I was wearing them either. Yeah, it's crease, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Everything.
I've worn this shoe at least 3 times as much than this. and this one has almost no creasing. This shoe I've worn also about 3 times as much as this one, and I got them used. So I don't know how they were treated before, but you see there's a little bit of creasing here, but also not as much creasing as this. The outside of the toe is creasing on this one too, on the DMP, the Gratitude. And then we can look at this. Again, these are years and years old. I don't know how much the person I had that had these before me wore them. These are I've had these for like 2 years, year and a half, 2 years now, but they're 5-6 years old. These are 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old now, and I've had them for a little bit longer than I've had these. I've only worn these. I've probably worn them about the same as I've worn these, but again, they're really old, and somebody wore them a lot before. They've got the crease on the inner toe. It's disappointing how quickly this one has the DMP, the Gratitude has creased already, and it's scuffed, and I really don't know how I got all this. Like, I wear these things to work. I sit in a desk, so I wasn't walking around with a bunch of other people. I wasn't playing basketball in them, and my right foot especially has really creased. Another thing I'll say about these, if you got the Cool Grays, these are all size 11. I think these are actually 11. Yeah, size 11, and this is a 10.5 actually. But out of these 3, this one, and I think a lot of people talk about this fits a little bit big. Like, I could have easily worn a 10.5 in this. This feels more like the way an 11 normally fits me. And these are actually a little bit snug. Not too snug to where I can't wear them. I actually like it that they're snug like that. They're just like the perfect snug. And again, this one's a little bit big, a little bit of sizing there. Now, let's look at the materials. And again, this is from a wearability standpoint. You see, this is the 20 whatever. What year was it? This was manufactured. What are the dates? I can't see it. It's covered up. Whatever. Years and years ago. And the Cordura mesh that's up here and the nylon laces are all dirty and or discolored. You see the mesh or the nylon here, lace stays or lace, whatever lace size, are discolored, and this one is just dirty.
Yeah. And
those are really, really hard to clean. This leather, I think, is actually a lot more like this leather. I think it's more like this leather that's here on the Jordan 12 Royalty. But this is actually going to stay pretty clean because it has a little bit of a plastic coating to it, a polyurethane coating to it, as does the tongue. Because it has that coating on the tongue, these squeak pretty bad. If you don't want squeaky shoes, don't get the DMP. Like, I don't know, I'm sure that there are ways you can put something up in here under the tongue or somewhere around to stop them from squeaking, but the tongue squeaks on these. My Concords don't squeak at all. My Cool Grays don't squeak at all. These don't squeak at all because they have this Cordura tongue. These two have the Cordura tongue, and this has suede. This has suede or Nuba. So what I'm really disappointed with, I am disappointed with the squeak, but I'm much more disappointed with the way that these have creased. And I'm sure that everybody's are going to be a little bit different, but part of the reason that I think that that's happened is because this leather, patent leather, is a lot thinner than this one. A little bit thinner than this one. Actually, probably about the same as that. But if you look at this really closely, Peyton, this is the, up here. Get a view down so you can see the cut of the patent leather right here. Get close. So you can see the cut. See how this one is thick and this one is not so thick?
Yeah.
I think that's really the main reason why these are creasing so badly. I think we saw that crease there. See it? And again, this one here that's also a little bit scuffed. Like, I don't know what's going on there. That's bad. That's actually really bad. Now, I normally don't care about creases. I absolutely don't care about creases in my Jordan 1s over here, baby. I absolutely don't care about creases in my Jordan 1s. Don't really care about creases in my Jordan 4s. I haven't worn those. And I don't really care about creases in my Jordan 3s. Don't really care about creases in my Dunks. My Dunks all have creases. These just don't crease. These just don't crease. My 5s don't really crease either. But 3s and 1s, lows, in Dunks, I don't really care. I don't really care about how those crease, but patent leather, I care about how it creases. The original 1996 Columbia that I had creased and cracked really bad all the way across here. I mean, I was playing basketball in it. I was in 6th grade, so I was beating it. And I definitely don't want that to happen. And it actually looks like it might be on the way to happen much sooner in these than it would with any other of these. Hesper has her cool grays, the grade school, and although this leather looks a little bit thinner than the Concord, it's holding up. Hers also is holding up a lot better than these, and she has worn those a lot more than I've worn mine. And I think Atticus maybe even wore those too at once, or a time or two, not to school, not to play or anything like that, probably to church or to go eat lunch or something, go out to eat. So, but they are much more worn and still look better than these. So I'm a little upset with the durability of the patent leather here, but it is patent leather. We know what we'd be getting into. I was very surprised with these and how well they held up. And this is probably 150,000 steps into these. I don't wear them much anymore, but probably 150,000 steps into these, and there's just hardly any creasing or cracking here. But these, I have an extra pair. These are gonna be available on Sneakers, probably available right now. If you go to your app and look to reserve pairs on JD or Finish Line, the raffle might still be open on Hibbett and Foot Locker. Probably already closed, but they're probably going to be fairly easy to get on release day from Sneakers. These are probably actually going to sit. I hate to say this, but I think they might sit in stores for just a little bit because there's going to be so many made. So many have already came out. I was able to get my pair, my extra pair, a pair for Miguel, a pair for Trent, and 2 more pairs. I canceled 2 of those though. I didn't really want that many. So I have no reason to go for these on release day, but I think they're gonna be easy to get. But think about this. They squeak and they crease pretty easily. I'm hoping that they're not gonna crack. If they stay like this, I won't be terribly happy, but it'll be better than if they end up cracking. But if I look at these 2, these are older, they have a stain on them right here, and the nylon and the Cordura are discolored. Unlike this one, the nylon is a little discolored, but not very bad, right? The lace stays.
They look good.
But there's leather up here, and this leather is actually really this particular leather is really easy to clean. It's a really smooth, white, kind of finished leather. You can actually put like polish on this if you wanted to. I wouldn't do that. I did to mine when I was a kid, but you could on these. So I think other than the patent leather, all the white on this is going to stay much whiter and be much easier to clean than these could ever be. These are actually holding up pretty nice for them being this really nice soft nubuck. The rest of the material on this is holding up really nice, and like I said, they're hardly creasing at all, even though I've worn these twice as much as these. So I don't know what's up with these. The reason why I wanted them was to wear them in place of these, but I don't think they're going to hold up and really be able to fill that for me. Are you pointing that at me, or
yeah.
Looks like it's going up there? All right. But y'all can make the decision. I wanted to give you the information here. Oh, wait. Mike Rich, he got a pair of these delivered to his house, and he accidentally left them out in the rain. These were delivered when it was raining, and whoever delivered them put them in a nice big plastic bag.
Thank you.
So that they didn't get rained on. Yes, thank you. I am very thankful for that. So this is my second pair. My second pair that the squad got me. Again, I ended up getting a total of 7 pairs, canceled several of them, 6 pairs, canceled several of them. And let's just take this out really quick so we can just make sure that the thickness on the leather of this pair is comparable to the thickness on the leather of this pair that I just wore. And you can see the original crispy look of this pattern. So let's get a close up here.
The same shoe?
It is the same shoe, yes.
Not really. Wait, is it?
It is. It's
Oh.
the same thing.
I was like, are you
But
sure?
see, there's no toe crease on the inside. This is the crispy version. This is the one that was worn with bad creasing on my right foot, worse than my left foot. I don't try to walk in these not creasing them. I know you can get crease protectors to go inside to help them from flexing in that manner. I also would have expected that since these are a little bit more snug, that they wouldn't crease as bad, because there should be less, I guess just less movement on your toe if it fits more snugly. I tie them, and I think with the Jordan 11, they tend to crease more back here if you don't tie them very tight, but I don't know. Take it or leave it. I wanted to give you this information. I hope it benefits you a little bit if you're trying to decide whether or not you're going to buy this shoe. Remember, thanks to God. I thank God all the time, and we thank God on this channel all the time, and the Bible shows us that it's important to do that. But let me know what you think about these shoes down below too. Are you getting them? Are you not? Did this video and the creasing and the squeaking details help you at all? Tell your grandma, just in case she doesn't know. Smash the like button, and I'll see y'all next time.
You're so pretty.
Say bye.
Shoes. Ah!
Shoes. And I like shoes.
Fire! It's so cute.